Welcome back to Music Theory Logic. Andrew here, and today I have to export stems for a project that I'm doing with someone else, and this is something that you may have the need to do at some point. Exporting stems is a common request when you're working with someone else who's going to want to be able to work on the tracks. Somebody mixing your song, they're going to want stems. If you're working with a record label or with certain music publishers, they're going to ask for stems. And if you're selling beats online, you can charge more if you have a stem option. So let's go ahead into Logic and I'll show you how to do this. It's going to be a really short video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is label your stems. Now, on a side note, when someone asks you for stems, they're not necessarily asking for every single layer in the song. Some people will mean they want all of the drums together on one audio file. To do that, you would select the groups that you wanted to, you would solo them out, and then you would bounce the project. To do it the way I'm doing it, all of these are going to get exported. So what I would do is I would go File, Export, 14 tracks as audio files. You're going to want to select the ones that you're using. You're then going to want to create a folder. So you can do a new folder on the bottom, name it something related to the track, and then that's where all the stuff is going to go. I had already done this, so I'm not going to actually save it. The next thing that a lot of collaborators are going to want is the Midi. So Midi in this project is all the green layers. So what you're going to want to do is grab all your Midi. You're going to hit Command J, or you can right click on that region. It's going to join it into this one giant blob of Midi. You're going to want to do that for all of your layers. And then you're going to want to make sure if not all your Midi starts like right at the beginning of the song, you're going to want to put a ghost note in. So put a Midi note in there and then mute it. All right, do that on each layer that doesn't have, see these notes start later in the song. So I have a muted Midi note at the very beginning. The reason that's important is when you export the Midi files, your computer is going to export like the region from where it starts. So you're going to want to make sure the start is at the beginning, even if there's no music there. Just so that when someone drags that Midi in, it's going to be in time. It can be kind of mentally challenging, especially when you have like a lot of different instruments, if the regions aren't like that. So that's standard practice as well. And then finally, to do that, you're going to want to right click export Midi, or you can do the key command option command E. It's going to ask you where you want to put this Midi. You're going to want to put it in the same file where you have the stems. You can do a subfolder titled Midi, but these tracks have different endings, excuse me, so you can tell it's a MIDI file by .mid. The next thing I did was I had built a custom serum patch for this artist, so I like to do this. It's fun to create sounds, and it's cool to add a little bit more to your production. So you're going to want to label this. So I put like built by d.r.u. I have it labeled here, vocalish lead drusound, so also my producer name, and then you hit save inside of Serum, and you're going to want to select the folder. I like to, at least with the stems in it. Again, you can create subfolders if you would like. Then you're going to export that file. So you're gonna zip it. So like right click, compress the file, and then you can use things like WeTransfer or Google Drive to actually send the file. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you have any questions or troubles with this, let me know in the comments. If you're in a different audio workstation, this is going to be slightly a different function, but it's going to be the same principle. So make sure you label your tracks. That's the number one thing. 2, make sure you ask who you're sending the stems to, what stems they want. So don't necessarily just give them every individual layer in your track. And then finally, for the MIDI stuff, make sure you add that ghost note so everything starts at the beginning. Hopefully that helped. If it did, you would help me out a lot by subscribing to the channel. If you do, I will see you next time. Go have some fun and bounce those stems. Cheers.